Hey everyone, and welcome back to FSI DFS. I am McKinley 412, and today we're going to be looking at this Friday main slate. This is going to be the last video for the regular season from FSI. We understand Saturday and Sunday, it's football, and all the other sports that are going on. It's pretty crazy how much DraftKings offers now. But this is going to be the last one. And, you know, this is the last series. The baseball season ends on Sunday. So, you know, a lot of teams are pretty much locked in where they're at. There's only, I think, 5 or 6 teams that have something to actually even play for. So you might see some really interesting lineups with the bats. And really, that makes it kind of hard to predict right now at the moment, you know, who's going to be a great play. You're kind of flipping the coin on lineups. You're kind of flipping the coin on how deep pitchers are going to be allowed to go into the game. So I wish I had more answers for you, but I'm going to try my best at kind of predicting as what's going to happen. And, you know, as always, good luck in your contest is what I say. So Sandy Alcantara, 10.2K for Miami. He's been going, you know, deep in the game still, even late on in the season when they have absolutely nothing to play for. He could get a Philly lineup tonight that, you know, Philly's got nothing to play for anymore. They're done. So maybe he goes deep into the game and he mows them down. He's got pretty good numbers against them all season long. 10.2K. It's not really a price that you want to pay for somebody who's got like a toss of a coin flip. But again, if he faces like a really weak Philadelphia lineup tonight, he could absolutely go off at home. We do know what his strikeout ability can be. So he could be a great play. But again, this is something I want to see the Philadelphia lineup first. Valdez, Houston, they locked up the AL West, so they are done. He's going up against Oakland. Oakland's going to have, they're still fighting for that final wild card spot. So it's Toronto, Boston, Seattle, there we go, and Oakland. So Oakland, it is a must-win game for them, absolutely must-win. Valdez, you know, his strikeouts haven't been what they were. His control has been a little off. You can kind of see he's been walking a lot of guys. So I'm not sure if he like has any sort of struggle. If Houston is just like, you know what, we got everything locked up. Let's not push it too hard, and we'll just take you out. We don't want you ending on like an absolutely terrible, disastrous start. So Valdez 10.1K. Probably wouldn't be too interested in him. You know you're going to get the full Oakland lineup here, so I'd probably lean Alcantara over Valdez. Kershaw, you know, the Dodgers, they're still fighting with San Francisco for that division. So Kershaw, you know, even though Dodgers are still fighting, I don't think, you know, he's still returning from injury. He's still only getting 50. I mean, that was when he first came back. He's only getting 70-ish pitches. So I'm not expecting him to go 100 pitches or anything. So at 10K, if he's still only going to be getting 80 pitches, it's hard for me to get too much interest in him here. Alzolay against St. Louis, no, just cross him off. McClanahan going up against the Yankees. Yankees, they are just doing so great right now. And he's another guy who's just not going too deep into games. Tampa Bay, they've got everything locked up. And we know Tampa Bay, just as a team in general, they don't like their pitchers going super deep into games. So at 9.7, I'm not going to have too much interest in him here. So really Alcantara, he's kind of like the top guy that I'm interested in up top, just because I feel like he might see the weakest lineup. And just, he's got the best stuff. He's got the best stuff. LYNN, if this was middle of the season and these were the prices, LYNN would absolutely be like #1 play on the slate, going up against Detroit. But you know, does Chicago say, okay, you know what, you've got a full workload, you know, one start where you only go 60, 70 pitches isn't going to hurt us or anything, isn't going to hurt your form. So this could be this is a prime example of a spot where I could see Chicago just saying, all right, 60, 70 pitches, you're going to go 4 or 5 innings, pull them. Obviously, we know what he can do. Like this game against Boston, 5 innings, he still got 28 points. So like he is still viable. Going up against Detroit, he could be a great GPP play for sure. But for in cash, I'm not sure I'm going to really trust him. There's not much I do trust in cash. I think MANAEA probably would be my favorite. It's so tough to say that MANAEA is my favorite cash play against on the road at Houston. But 9.1K. Again, Houston's got everything locked up, so maybe they throw out like a weaker lineup. But even if they throw out a stronger lineup, you can kind of see his last start, 26 points against the same Houston team. MANAEA provides just like a nice, solid upside for us, but like his floor is pretty much non-existent lately. It's been pretty non-existent, and that's kind of why I was talking earlier about like, do I really want to think of him as like the cash play? I just don't think cash is a wise idea in this final weekend of baseball. So MANAEA, you know, like I said, Oakland's got all the world to play for right now. They have to win. So I could see him, if he's doing well, they're just gonna push him as hard as far as he can possibly go. So I do have some interest in MANAEA. It's just I wish I had more information for you guys on like how deep pitchers are going to go, because you know historically pitchers, they don't get the full run. Lineups get weird, and this is just it's a wild final weekend for baseball always. Miguel going up against Atlanta, Cortez against Tampa Bay. Yankees got to win. Tampa Bay, who knows what they do? I still think, you know, Tampa Bay could come out with a pretty decent lineup, and even their prospects, they got great prospects. So, you know, Cortez, he could do very well. He's got that K upside. He's lefties. I prefer playing lefties against Tampa Bay, but still, you know, flip a coin. That's kind of what the whole thing's going to be all the way down. You know what? He's got that K upside. We love him. Lauer, he has been doing very well lately, but he's going up against the Dodgers, which kind of stinks. Ranger Suárez, 8.8K. His price has finally gone up. He's been the slate darling for a while, but still, 8.8K going up against Miami. I think he's probably one of the better plays on the entire slate. So we'll plug Ranger Suárez in there, just because I think he's going to do pretty well. Erod going up against Washington, Boston in the must win. I think he's definitely somebody that you could play too. So everybody else, not really too interested in. So let's kind of turn towards the bats. I'm talking already too much, more than I wanted. On just such a terrible slate. So turn towards the bats. It's going to be Toronto. It's going to be Boston. It's going to be, slide over, San Francisco. These are your highest. Oh, I got Boston over here. These are like your three highest implied win total or implied run totals right now. Toronto and Boston, they're the ones that are like deeply playing for something. I mean, San Francisco is too. Like they're still trying to lock up this division and avoid that wild card. So, but still, they're going up against Musgrove. It's a little bit tougher of an option, but Toronto and Boston, I think, is who you're going to be wanting to jam in. And I don't think you want to get. I mean, I guess you get too cute. I mean, it is a GPP slate. Just kind of play whoever you want and just kind of hope, because who knows what's going to happen with the pitching today. But Toronto, it's your typical guys going up against Green, lefty, righty, it doesn't matter. They are priced up a little bit, but I mean, if you throw in Ranger Suárez and you're throwing, you know, Erod from Boston, you're going to be doing just fine in the pricing category. I don't think you're going to have any issues throwing in Toronto. And then on the Boston side, Boston going up against a lefty. Well, Rogers has some stuff. We love Boston against righties. We always have. We've been saying it all season. Dahlbeck, he could be super cheap. He could be a nice value play for you at 3.7K. Kike Hernandez at 4.8. Excuse me. Everybody else is just, you know, they're priced up quite a bit, and you know, they really have been disappointing against Baltimore. We're stacking them every single slate. So maybe they don't see the ownership that they should tonight. But for the bats, it's going to be Toronto, it's going to be Boston, and then probably San Francisco. They're in our high total that you could be going towards. Other teams, I mean, you got to see the lineups. You got to see the lineups, because who knows what you're going to be seeing. But you know, Minnesota, Minnesota, Kansas City. I think this game could see quite a few runs. Cleveland, Texas, it could see quite a few runs as well. Oh, Chicago White Sox going up against Willie Peralta. Definitely want to see some Chicago White Sox bats in there. I think they might have third or fourth highest implied run total on the slate. And yeah, so, I do apologize. This is kind of like all over the place. It's early in the morning. I'm still trying to get my brain wrapped around this, but this is just a GPP slate, in my opinion. This final weekend is always just crazy. But I would go with guys like Ranger Suarez. I'd be going more down here, Erod, Suarez, Manea, even Alcantara, if you want to see what that Philly lineup looks like. So as always, thank you so much for watching all throughout the season. Thank you for watching again today. We will have one more video out on one of those larger slates in the playoffs once they come around. I think there's like 1 or 2 days where there's a 4-game slate. So we will be around for that. Until then, as always, good luck in your contests, and we will see you in the playoffs.